Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Band of Barbers podcast. I'm your host, Devon Evans, and we're back for another episode. Today will be episode 25. I'm excited. It's 25 days I've been with you guys. 25 days of giving away free barber game. We talk about a lot of things and we talk about a lot of different things and a lot of different subjects. Really appreciate you guys listening in. I hope you guys are enjoying our content. And please like, comment, share, subscribe. So, of course, you know what we can do? We can grow the tribe. Well, today is going to be a little bit more of a continuation of yesterday's episode. Yesterday's episode, our theme was, or the title, I guess you can say, for the episode was, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but an old dog can learn if he desires so. Right? That's what it is. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, but an old dog can learn if they have the desire. And, just a real quick recap, what we talked about yesterday was that sometimes the younger generation has the ability, the younger generation of barber, I don't care the age of the barber, but the younger generations of barbers coming into the game, they have the ability to learn a lot faster. The older barbers who got started in this game, even within the last 20 years or so, like when we got started, like our sources for education was very limited, right? You had about 4, maybe 5 barbers that were on YouTube at the time, in mid 2000s, you had about 4 or 5 barbers. In the mid 2000s, you had about 4 or 5 barbers on there. When I really started taking this game seriously, it was 4 or 5. Al's Millions and a few other guys. That was really about it. There wasn't much more than that. Now you've got probably hundreds of barbers from all across the world teaching barbering techniques, their own styles. Sorry about that. Teaching their own styles and things of that nature. So the younger barbers, the younger barbers, not in age, but maybe just in their career experience, they have way more access to information than a lot of us older guys had initially. Right? They have way more access to information. It's cooler to be a barber now than it was back then. Although barbering was something that was standard, it was going to happen, right? Like nobody really, I can't really remember a time where people jumped out and it was like, yo, the barber is cool. It just doesn't dawn on me a time period where I remember that. It was the barber was the barber. The barber made me look nice. The barber can cut hair. The barber can't cut hair. The barber does this, so on and so forth. But again, and not to go too far in a tangent down that road because it kind of dived into it. Our recap from our episode was like, hey, listen, for us older guys, if you didn't make an effort to change and now you got these younger guys that are coming in your shop and they have they have advanced well past what you have done or what you're doing, and they trying to show you some game, and you don't want to take that in. That's not on them, that's on you. They showing you up, it's not because they're younger or because they're fresh. They learn, so learn something from them. This is a hands-on trade where you use your eyes, right? You develop the barber eye. If your barber eye is immature, then it needs some maturity. It needs to grow up. It needs to develop, right? And that's just, the things that are some of the things that are going on. These new trends and things like that are coming up. The Edgar cuts, the extremely low and compressed fades, the popularity of the stretch fade. I do believe that in the early 2000s, late 90s, just a couple years, the compressed fade was very, very popular. And you look back at it, and it was very popular. So you have to understand and grow with what's going on. Grow with the industry, the time, and things like that. If you're not satisfied, again, like I said yesterday, if you're satisfied with your situation, please don't be the one to complain. If you're not satisfied with your situation, sure, if you're going to complain, you need to do something about it. Don't just sit here and complain about the new guys and what they're doing and why do they care so much about this and about that. And I'll say this again. I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. Money is a natural consequence for providing a service. It is the expectation between the client and the service provider that when you are done with this service, they're going to pay you said amount that you asked for. Now, I don't think I gave this example yesterday, but if you go into a restaurant and you have a waiter that gives you poor service, most people are going to let that affect the way they tip. Now, I believe kind of sort of in the opposite of every person is human. And because they're human, sometimes I will tip nicely for great service. I will even tip nicely for poor service because you don't know what could be going on with them and why they're providing you with a poor service. They could have worked a double that day. They could have done a lot of things. So you just really have to understand and know what's going on with that. But again, for those people who just think like, this is my price, this is what I'm here to get, but you'll also be the first one to complain about a person not tipping. But if you didn't provide a service, America is has a tip based system on services, right? That's typically kind of what you do. And for those people, in general, poor service gets a poor tip. So if you just getting what you asked for as far as your price is concerned, it's probably because you're providing a poor service. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but that's probably what it is. You're providing a poor service. But, yeah. So, which leads me into to my next kind of subject is, we had to talk about the trends and in the innovation. Like, listen, the people typically that are willing to pay the best, pay the most are, young um, career people fresh into their jobs, and things like that, and the people that may come back could come back or may come back more often than any, or you know, in my opinion, probably between the ages of about 17 to about 35. It's probably in that range, 17 to about 35, right? That's the market that is either that has a decent amount of money, that cares highly about their personal grooming standards and all of those things. The personal grooming standards of men has grown over the last 10 years, from fashion to the way they take care of themselves, the way they take care of their skin. All of these things have grown and changed dramatically. Um, and you have to be aware of that. And with these things growing, like, people want the accessibility of the internet and social media and all of those things. Like, people are looking at barbers from across the country providing services that are, somewhat Hollywood quality haircuts. And I'm telling you that because while you can get so much education and so much gain from social media, I will not say that the bar has been raised. The standard has been raised. If you're in a small town, or a medium sized town, for years you could get away with being and doing whatever it is that the service that you provide, if you're one of the few people who provide barbering services. And whatever the skill set that you have is what the area has to do, because most people are not going out of town. It's about accessibility. It's about accessibility. And humans by nature are habitual. They're gonna go to one of the most. They're gonna go to the accessible place continuously over and over and over again, unless they get bad business or they have a bad experience, and then they'll go somewhere else. But typically, they're gonna continue to go to the same place because it's within their proximity of travel. What does that mean? It's right down the street. It's right around the corner. It's in the neighborhood. It's if they can provide a decent enough service, I'm just gonna go here, because why would I go uh, a city over or two cities over to receive? I have the yawn. I don't understand that. I've got to stop doing it. I've got to stop recording so late, guys. I apologize. I really do, because it's not that I don't want to share this information with you. This is really something that I'm passionate about. It's really something that I'm excited about. It's just late, and I've got to do better. That's on me. I've got to do better with this, my recording times and everything like that. Um, yeah. So, anyways, back to what I was saying. Most people are going to travel in a certain proximity. You don't believe me? Think about where you go to the gas station. There are very few people who get up every day, or when they go fill up gas, they're looking for the cheapest gas in the area. They're not. There's very few people that do that. The people, typically a person will go to the same gas station. They'll have maybe they'll have a consistent one, and then they'll have a backup gas station. And the backup gas station is something that they may go to sometimes, but it's on a rare occasion, right? But typically they're going to go to the same gas station over and 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 over, and it's not going to change. It is not going to change. That's where they go get their gas. They believe in their gas. It's like I tell you, it's like a person. It's like a Ford Chevy person, right? If granddad had a Ford, great granddad had a Ford, dad had a Ford, it's more than likely that the kid's gonna have a Ford. You know, and vice versa. If they were Chevy family, they're probably gonna have they probably gonna have Chevys if they desire to. They may do something else, but they're always gonna have a bias towards, whatever they saw their family use. It is what it is. But anyways, you need to understand stay up to date with the trends and all of those types of things. Trends of what's going on, learning the new techniques. Like, yes, if you learn how to fade, you understand how to fade and things like that. But then there is a situation that comes in where I like to call tool mastery. So you need to understand, and now this is a new barber thing that you don't see with a lot of older barbers. New barbers are because the marketing of these new barber companies is so great. New barbers are going out and buying all these clippers as if they are as if they're Jordans. You got two hands. Your comb or brush should always be in one hand and the clipper in the other. The clipper or trimmer in the other. So you only can use one tool at a time. It is my suggestion that if you're struggling and your haircuts aren't coming out the way that you want them to do, stop buying all of these tools. Stop it. Leave it alone. It's not what you need. Leave it alone. Pick one tool, one tool that you really like, and if you like it so much, double up and get another one. But get one tool. So if I know people that still are. If you're a Magic Clip guy, don't go get the new JRL. Go get another Magic Clip because you like that one. But you need to stick in one clipper. Stick with one clipper and one trimmer, and master that clipper. Understand how it works, how it moves, how it flows. What does it do? Understand how that works. Now, and I'll say this: when you get your double of the same clipper, you may want to put a taper blade on one and a fade blade on the other, because we know, or you should know, that these provide different results. A fade blade is typically better at getting a ball line out if you need to, or working in that open clipper area, than a taper blade. But you need to know that. You need to study one tool. Take everything else off your station. Your go-to clipper, put that on there, and you do everything you can to complete haircuts with that clipper and that trimmer, and that's it. Don't jump into anything else. Close yourself up. Take the other stuff and just put it away. Put it away and gain confidence in your system, which is always important. Gain confidence in your system and gain confidence in your clippers. Know what the clippers do. how they work, how they function, and this type of hair versus that type of hair, and in this situation versus this situation. Is this clipper, if I'm doing a lot of tapers, is this clipper really the shape and style of the clipper? Is it really going to work for how I have to maneuver to get into um, this area? Do I like you need to understand the tools. Understand the tools. If you go back, if you're listening to this and you've never seen it, go back and look at the Walmart challenges that 360 GZ and a whole slew of other barbers, Chris Basio, I think Wavy Kid Kev may have did it. Go back and look at their Walmart challenge videos, or just type it in and look at these Walmart challenge videos for these big Instagram barbers. And what you'll understand is that it's not the clipper. So stop chasing the perfect clipper. The clipper is not going to do its work. The idea that it's the clipper's fault, or why you can't get this haircut or that haircut, or you're struggling with this and you're struggling with that. The idea and the fact that you actually believe that is so crazy to me. That's like saying that a basketball team is playing bad because they have bad jerseys. It's the jersey's fault that they're not performing well. Does that sound like it's like you're probably like, really? The jersey's fault? Boo. Yeah, right. It's just like you blaming the Clippers. Boo. Boo. If you've got well maintained tools, and this is your go-to, put everything else away and learn that clipper. Learn it. Spend time with it. Get to know it. Do all of those things. The mastery of your tools, the mastery of your system in all different scenarios, tapers, mohawks, high fades, mid fades, low fades, ball heads, like the mastery of that tool will actually speed you up. Understand how it works. Understand how you use it. Get all of that. Then if you feel so inclined, then move on to something else. But don't move on before then. Don't move on before you actually learn what's going on. Right? And for my old dogs that just don't seem to want to learn new tricks. One, you can if you desire to. You have to open your mind to be educated. You have to open your mind to learn. It may not be comfortable because you've been out of school for so long, or you didn't do well in school, and it may be a big struggle for you, but you've committed to serving the community. So if you're going to do that, serve the community to the best of your ability, not the worst, or average, or good enough, or no, serve the community to the best of your ability. You're asking the community to come support you and bring you their hard-earned money for you to give them shoddy work that you don't believe in. For what? No. Give them the best you got. And if your skill set isn't there, if you're inconsistent in your skill set, then go back to what I said before. Tool mastery, system mastery, understanding your fade system, understanding the fade system, understanding your tools and how they work and what's going. Understand all that stuff. Get it. Understand it. All right. You can mix some old with the new. That old work ethic that you may have, if a positive work ethic with a new skill set, you can mix it in. You can mix it in and learn. Also, remember, like, this is solely that, like, this business is about the customer. If you don't have customers if you can't maintain or have customers in your chair, your business is struggling. That's what it is. Like, your business is struggling. And for the life of me, I don't understand that if my business is struggling, I'm not going to keep doing the same thing and complaining about the fact that I don't have any business. I've got to do something different. Do something different. Take care and care for the community. Don't just say, oh, like a client shouldn't get in your chair. You cut their hair so fast, and when they get done, it almost doesn't even feel like they got a haircut. It feels like they got robbed. Don't be that guy. Do not be that guy. Right? And another thing in behind the chair, and also talking about the client as well. If you cut a client's hair and you are not pleased, or the client is not pleased with what you have done, and they give you a list of correction points or things that they see wrong or whatever, if they give you that stuff, do not take offense to it. The craziest thing I can't really understand for the life of me is someone who, a client who is telling you they don't care for something, or they want you to fix or tweak or do something to the hair, and you do it, they get up and pay you, but the only thing that you can focus on is the fact that they complained about what you did. You don't love it, get out. I just, like, I don't understand. Like, you are in a business that is solely built around a customer, and if the customer is not happy, what? Get out. Get out. Leave the industry, because you're making a bad name for people. If you're get yourself together. Get yourself together. Period. I'm not gonna touch too much more on that, but that's just my belief. Get out. Please. Get out. Leave them alone. Leave this industry alone, and let the people who do care about the customers, who do care about the industry, who do want to see the industry advance and be along for the ride and the show, that the wild ride that it has become this business, the wild ride that has become this business, please, just leave us be. Barbers now are getting more money than we've ever gotten in our lives, on average. More money than we've ever gotten in our lives, as far as a per customer value. On average, we're getting crazy money. But we're also spending good money. And we're also trying to learn and get better. You don't want to learn, you don't want to get better. Listen, I'm no coach, but if I was your coach, I'd cut you. Couldn't be on my team. Got to go. You have got to go. And it's nothing personal, but I want people who want better, not people who just want to stay average, or people who want to bring other people down because they're not willing to learn or do the things that the other people are. No, you got to go. You got to go. Now, I've said all that, and if you're the client, if you're the barber that listens to this, and you're fuming mad, I hope you are, because now I'm going to give you some training opportunities. I'm gonna give you some training opportunities. One, if you're in the state of Virginia or the state of Virginia or Maryland, you can reach out to me. I'll come set up shop and teach you a class. Now it will cost, but I'll come. I will show up and teach you because I care that much about the industry. That I will show you the things that I know. I will. If you care. If you're saying, oh no, I ain't gonna pay him, that's fine. Somebody will. I don't necessarily need you to pay me. I get paid on my own, but I'm just saying, if this is what you want to do and you're like, look, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this, there's an option for you. There's also YouTube. There's also online courses that you can pay for that give more in depth than YouTube. Some of them are less in depth, but they're organized so well that you can get so much information from them, right? So there's another option for you. YouTube. The other one, go in your city, find you a mentor. But I'll say this, stop thinking like the barbers in your community, in your area, like y'all are not in, you're not in competition. You're just not. You have a clientele base, they have a clientele base. They're serving their clientele base. If the barber across town or the barber did the one that said across town, the barber next to you is got a different clientele base than you do. If the barber next to you is putting out some haircuts that you would like to, ask him questions. Now, if you've burnt a relationship or whatever it may be, that's also on you. But still, apologize for what it is you may have done and go ahead and ask them questions. If you don't want to ask them questions, watch and observe what they do. Watch and observe what they do. Get with somebody if you need to talk to them about what they're doing with hair. Just do it. I mean, if you're already struggling, what is the worst that's going to happen if you ask somebody a question? They're going to tell you no, cool, and you're in the same situation. But what if they don't tell you no? What if they actually explain and then you get to understand what necessarily you may be doing wrong or what makes their haircuts different than your haircuts? What if they do tell you? Oh man. If they told you, you can improve. But don't hold fast to trash to try to save face. Right? I believe it was Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas talked about a situation where he was in college and he took he took the same English class. I think it was like 4 times. He took it 4 times. And he said on the last time that he took it, he got so determined. He said, look, I don't want to speak to he went to the teacher because he realized something. I'm trying to save face and hee ha and giggle and all of this kind of stuff. And I don't want I don't want the teacher to know that I'm dumb or the teacher to know that I'm struggling like she's not the one that's grading my papers. You trying to save face around people because that you look at them or in a competitive nature and you think that they're better than you, and you don't want to hear anything with what they're trying to say because you just trying to snatch up whatever you can snatch up, whatever crumbs that you can get, but you don't want to come get a seat at the table. You want crumbs. You don't want a seat at the table. You want crumbs. I don't know. You want crumbs, and that's the biggest challenge. Like the biggest challenge in learning new things is that typically you're in your own way. I know I was in my own way. I know I was in my own way. And when I got out of my own way, I started asking why these things occur, why these things happen, why is this barber, that barber, this barber able to get this result, but I can't get it. When I started to ask those questions, my whole skill set changed. Because I stopped trying to compete. I'm not here to compete. I'm here to be a barber. I'm here to enjoy one of the greatest professions in the world. I'm not here to compete with you. It's not a competition. If I'm telling you something, I'm trying to give you some game. It's not for me. I'm not trying to compete with you. And that's not a cocky thing. I'm just not trying to compete with you. I got my lane, you got your lane. If you understand anything about business, I understand what my market share is. Learn yours. Stop trying to get on my market. Stop thinking that I'm trying to take a piece of your market share. I'm not. We're not. We want you to be successful. And when you are associated with us, we want you to level up. But you can't level up if you think you're already at the top level. You just can't. You can't level up if you already think you're at the top. Just had a conversation with I just had a conversation today, and I said to someone, I said, I'm 1,000 times better than the apprentice that first came into this shop, but I'm still not great. Hell, some days, excuse my language, some days I still question whether I'm good. Because for me, the level of greatness and the level of good and things like that is consistency. Can I make this consistent across the board? Do I have the tool set to be able to serve my community properly? I have a heavy mix of clientele. A heavy mix of clientele. And not all the time I do. So I'm looking for consistency. I'm looking for, let's get this so down. Let's get our system so down that I can make this haircut look as if you never, like, it looks the exact same every single time. I understand things change about hair and movement and what you do, and yeah, that's to me. There's still no excuse. Let's be consistent. Let's knock it out the park every single time. Every single time, chasing consistency. Because if I chase money, money's gonna run. If I chase consistency, the money's gonna come. I told you, money's a natural consequence. I'm not worried about the money. I'm worried about cannot provide a consistent service that the community is going to love. That's it. That's it. You know, and I will say this as we look into the future, as I get ready to close here, as we look into the future of the barbering industry, I will say that the older guys, the guys that in the industry, the old dogs, you're gonna get left behind if you don't do nothing. You're gonna get left behind, and you're gonna end up with a bunch of old guys as your clientele, and they're never gonna want to. That's it. And the older clients get, the less hair they'll have. And yeah, that'll be easier. But stay relevant. Stay relevant. Stay up to date on trends. Stay up to date on these things. Learning all of this new stuff. Learning the hair trends. Stay up to date. Right? And really in conclusion, as I close here, I really just want to say to the older guys, you have to have the desire to improve and get better. And stop, please, stop thinking that you have nothing to add to you have nothing to add to what you're doing. Like I said again, if you think you done figured out everything there is about hair, then it's time to learn something else. Learn about the business. Think you done figured out everything there is to know about hair, and you're in a shop, and it's probably time for you to open up your own shop. Ding, ding, ding. Guess what you're gonna do when you open up your own shop? You're gonna have to learn more about it, because you're gonna go from a place of being a employee or a booth runner to now you're in charge of the whole shop, and you have to maintain it. You have to maintain your representation. You have to maintain your representation. Sorry. Brain, I had a moment. You have to maintain your why I would, man, I really apologize, guys. You have to maintain here. You have to maintain your image for your business, and yeah, that's just really it. When you get into that world and you have to learn all of those things, you either gonna see it's easy or you're gonna see it's a lot harder. But stop blaming everybody else for your shortfalls and your mishaps. Stop. Grow up. You're a grown man. Grow up. Grown man, grown woman. Stop blaming everybody else for your mishaps. Just stop. It's crazy. Ain't nobody else's fault. Nobody told you don't learn how to do this, don't learn how to do that. But you chose not to do it. Don't be upset at the people that do learn how to do it. Grow up. Childish. Crazy. Anyways, guys, I'm your host, Devon Evans. This has been another episode of the Band of Barbers podcast. This is episode 25, guys. I'm so happy to be here. So happy to have all this. This is another episode. Working hard, cutting it close. We're gonna do a couple little edits, and we're gonna get this out by midnight tonight, so that you guys can either listen to it if you work in third shift, or somewhere. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You might be working third shift, thinking about becoming a barber, but we're gonna get this episode out tonight. And please like, comment, share, subscribe if you got feelings about this. Let's talk, because what I want is for everyone who is interested or in this industry to grow, strive, and become successful. I do. I want you to grow, strive, and become successful. Like, this is, yeah. But some of that old stuff got to die, and until you let it go, it's always gonna hold you back. Barbering is not a popularity contest. It's not. It's not a popularity contest. All right? Barbering is a business that's about taking care of the community. Good insight, good customer service, good conversation. It's about taking care of the community. But please comment, like, share, subscribe, so we can grow the tribe. It's been episode 25. I had a great time chatting with you guys, and grow and evolve, guys. Or as fast as the industry is going, you will be left behind and forgotten. That you will be left behind and forgotten. It is what it is. That's what you want. That's what you want. I don't want to see that for you. So pick it up. Pick it up. Thanks again. Catch you guys later.